All right, here's what I think. I think that if you wanted to, you could make something out of that. If you wanted it bad enough, you could. If you had a if you were in a place and you had a client or somebody that had a house that was active and you used this machine or this program the way that they say to use it, and it gave you this list of words, and all these words were were typed in that were relevant to this location and were in the dictionary. And if it gave you Jesse, and Jesse was relevant, and if Jesse was nice, and if he was quiet, and if his room was upstairs, and if he died in the spring, and he walked with a limp, and he kissed you goodbye, and he played the fiddle, and he liked his steak raw, you could make something out of that
Yeah,
because you wanted to.
but here's the thing.
But
Jesse was my grandfather. That was his name. He died in April of 1988. Technically, spring, because it was the middle of April. He did not walk with a limp. I lived about 1,500 miles from him when he passed away. He lived in a single-story building. He did not play a fiddle. As far as I know, he did not like anything raw, except for oysters. He was quiet. I don't get what method would be, or tissue.
and he was probably solid.
Yeah, but other than that,
But all those things are random words that could fit. I mean, they could be made to fit any place
and
if
anyone.
in any one. I mean, you could make a. I just did. I just made a story about all the words that came up on that screen.
And see, now this is another thing, and this is something that I don't know if the people who have used this in actual investigations have put out there or not. But say Jesse is not my grandfather, not a man that I knew. Let's say he sorry about that. I had something to look at there. Let's say he was just someone that lived in this house. Let's say that. Okay, I'm no relation to him. I don't know Jesse from Adam. You could make this fit him then perfectly. But the fact of it is, this was my grandfather. I know him. So I know most of this crap doesn't fit him. So, but like I said, had it not been him, had it not been who that was, you could have made this fit to anyone like you did. Now, see, if you were an investigator and I was the homeowner, and like I said, I was no relation to Jesse, had no clue who it was, but you had documented proof that Jesse used to live here, and you come in and you show me this and like, well, you think you're getting haunted, you feel spirits here. It's Jesse, a former owner of this house. He was a quiet man, a good man, a nice man, solid citizen, blah, 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 blah. And you would have something. It's the equivalent of a computer version of John Edwards. Or is it Edward? Never could figure that or remember that.
I think it's Edward. I don't think it's an S.
Okay. I know there's one guy that used to, he's a senator from South Carolina. He ran for president once, and his name was John Edwards or Edward, and the other, after that, I never got him straight again. Because let's face it, one was a politician and one was a scam
That's
artist.
okay.
So
They both. That's okay. 'Cause they both made shit up.
yeah, I was about
So
to say both of them made their living on bullshit. So, but that's what he would do. He would go out and he would crowd, and he would sit there and he would take a hold of his head and he would put his hand out and he'd take a hold of his head and he'd go, I feel a presence coming through. He's a man. It's a man, an older man, a father figure, an uncle, a grandfather. Okay, out of 150 people standing in front of you, you're going to tell me that every one of them has not lost an uncle, a grandfather, or a father? One of them's going to go, I lost my dad. And then he's going to go, but his name, it started with a J or G or J. My granddad's name was James. That's it. It's James. He's coming through. Okay, that guy's full of shit. He's sputtering out words until you make the connection. And once you make the connection for him, then he comes over to tell you how wonderful and how he's trying to say goodbye to you and all this horse shit. Same
Which
thing
is
here.
just what you want to hear.
It's going to tell you what you want to hear if you want to make it up.
Honestly, I've done paranormal research for 10 plus years. I've analyzed evidence in cases that we worked on. I've looked at evidence from other people. I've heard things with my own ears that I can't explain. I felt things that I couldn't explain. I honestly do not see how anybody could take this program into someone's home or business that called you to investigate for them and use this to give any evidence of activity to bring any kind of closure to anyone. It's a random word generator, and that's all it is.
Yeah.
It's never, it's useless. It's not, it doesn't work.
No.
You're going to get right answers. 50% of the time, you're going to get something that might make sense, but you got to want it. You know?
Well, see,
And
that's the
plus,
thing. I don't think it actually makes any sense.
well, it doesn't.
I think it's one of the things that it knows automatically. If you've added this stuff to the dictionary, it's got to be prevalent to what you're looking for. Okay, I think it's a 2,100 word dictionary or vocabulary. It's going to hit something you've added, which is going to make whatever you're looking for, it's going to make it relevant.
Well, see, that's the other thing. If you ask it a question, but if you gave it the answers, you've corrupted the data.
Yeah. That's why I said it is the computer program equivalent to John Edwards.
I mean, if you
give it the answers and draw the conclusions and put the links there, and it points it out to you. I mean, that's it.
I mean, if you put a word list in and it answered questions relevant to what you were asking simply on the word list that was in it and nothing that you added, I'd say that would be different.
Okay, and there's another thing. It could have. Because as I said, the name Jesse, the only name that it came up in that whole session was Jesse, and that was my grandfather's name. Grandfather was pre-installed. You're telling me he has the power? First off, I would never understand. First off, if it was actually my grandfather, he would never have said his first name. And if he was telling me what he went by, he would have said something different. He wouldn't have said Jesse either, because a lot of people didn't realize his freaking name was Jesse. Most people knew him as Mac. So it would have come up with Mac. I put that
was
in
Mac
there.
in there? You put that in there?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I have to say,
Also, there's one other thing. As I said, pre-installed is grandfather. Why wouldn't it have said grandfather? Of course, I would have said whose grandfather? My grandfather? Was it my wife's? Whose? But it could have given me other information. Like I said, I put things in prevalent to my family. I didn't just put in a few words or names. I put in things that would prove that it was talking to me. It could have easily said grandfather, then fire department, or fireman. I would have known instantly who it was talking about. I put that in as well. Because my grandfather, Jesse, was the fire chief. It could have done those. It didn't. There are just things that it could have answered. And instead, it goes, I like to stick metal rods in my pee hole.
Well, and
It's
you have
full
to
of
think.
shit.
You have to think too. There's basically there's this. There's poltergeists, which are caused by an agent, usually a juvenile with enhanced PK that happens usually if it's a female with around menses or a male around puberty. But not always, but usually that's the case. There's residual haunting, which is a place memory, which is caused by several things, which we won't go into because it'd take too much time. There's an intelligent haunting, which is an intelligent spirit that can actually answer direct questions when you ask it. And then there's a demonic haunting. Now, demonic is only used in the term because of Christianity, because they don't really have any other word to call it. It's a negative haunting, a haunting with an entity that's negative or
non-human form,
not nice. And they use demonic to denote that because that's the word that Christianity has come up with, and so that's what they use. But to bring this program into a place where you think you may have an intelligent haunting or a malevolent spirit and expect to get anything useful out of it, no, this is not going to work. If you want to sit around with your friends and have a couple of beers and a bag of chips and play with this thing.
Or another great thing, if you want to download it while the test is going, it'd be a great prank for Halloween. This would scare the hell out of someone. Because you can go and erase the entire vocabulary and only put in certain words. It could scare the hell out of someone. This could be a great prank.
You could put in ghosts and demon and hell and
yeah.
You know, you could put in anything and really mess somebody up.
But as far as paying $50 and taking, which by the way, I don't remember if this was in one of them that crashed that I wasn't able to put out, or it was in this one. The only way I found out how to actually get this device, the full version, is to pay $50 for it. And it's only through like an email address. There's no PayPal site or any of that crap with it. On the website, the only way I found this information was by finding a group on Facebook and contacting the person who started the group. The head of that group responded and told me that Alice, for a full registered version, is $50.
And correctly, it isn't Alice produced by a group that's fairly well known in the UK?
Well, no, it's not by them, but it is used by them. And I'm going to put this little clip in, I guess. I'm glad you brought that up because actually I've forgotten it. This is the official spirit communication device of Most Haunted from the UK. As most of you probably know, if I was doing any legitimate device and Most Haunted wanted to like promote it, I'd say no thank you. Because if any of you remember from last Halloween, Most Haunted was discredited when they were caught faking evidence live on international television. I will put that clip. I know most of you have seen it. Probably all of you have seen it. But basically what you're about to see is one of their cameramen get pushed by a demonic force. Only you see him get into position and you notice that there's a rope tied to him. And the rope gets pulled tight and he goes flying backwards. Basically that discredits anything that group ever did or will do.
And if this is one of the communication devices they use, then well, that kind of says it all.
Yeah, exactly. It does actually say a lot. Because if this is the device that they use it because they can fake it. Because let's face it, these people are fucking fakes. I've actually had a group on Twitter that I've talked to, and I felt so bad for them when all that came out, because not only did it, because they were considered the top dogs of the UK. They were like caps in the United States. They were the top dogs of the UK. And he was like, since this group, these are the top guys. I won't give his group's name or anything because I have not talked to them about using it. I mean, I'm sure they probably would have no trouble with it, but because I've actually watched their evidence, they've got good stuff. And so far, as you can see with our channel, if it's bullshit, I'll call bullshit on it. And I'm telling you right now, their stuff was good. But he was telling me that because they were the top group, because they were the top dogs, it's now thrown all the groups from that area, all of them, into a negative light. Because if the best of the best fakes it, what does that say about the little guy? And, I really felt bad for him because, like I said, he has put out good evidence. Puts it out there for everyone to see. I don't think his group fakes it. If it is, it's good. I haven't caught it yet. I will. And if it does, I'll put them right on this channel. But, to be thrown in a negative light because of a group that's clearly faking evidence. And this is their premier device, the one that they use. And I think that says a lot about it. So, let's go on and wrap this up. Give it a final thought, final vote.
I call bullshit.
And I second that. So, Alice is now officially bullshit, at least in my professional opinion. And as I said,
as far as I'm concerned, it is.
This is the opinion of two people that have 10 plus years paranormal research experience and a Microsoft trained computer tech. And there you have it. Not sure what we're going to be bringing you next time. There is some stuff. I'm sorry to say there is some personal matters going on both sides of the device here, mine and Michael's life, that recording and putting out videos is going to be very spotty for the foreseeable future. Like I said, it's kind of personal. I don't really want to get into it, but we will be trying to do something and bring you something as much as possible. And hang in there. Once everything gets cleared up and worked out, we will come back in full time. Until next time, this is Joe signing off.
And this is a Light Seeker saying bye-bye.
See you next time.